Madison, are you seriously planning to skip again? It's a family gathering. Showing up should be a given. If you keep missing every time, don't you think people will start to talk?
I'm really sorry, Sadie. I've been feeling under the weather lately, and I just couldn't push myself to attend. But I promise I'll make adjustments so I can be there next time. I really do want to join everyone.
I understand if you're not feeling well, but missing every single time doesn't look good, you know? Shouldn't you make the effort to come, even if it's hard?
I'm truly sorry, but if I force myself to attend when I'm unwell, it'll just end up being tough on me and inconvenient for everyone else.
Still, constantly making excuses to avoid coming is a problem. You could at least make an effort for the sake of everyone else. This is a family gathering, after all.
I understand that, but there are times when I genuinely can't get away from certain things.
You're not the only one with things going on. Everyone is busy, yet they still manage to make the time to gather. Do you think anyone wants to keep hearing excuses from you every single time?
I understand how you feel, but I just think forcing myself to come when I'm not well will only make things worse.
Oh, so it's just about doing things at your own pace, is it? We all make the effort to come despite our schedules. If you keep acting like this, things won't get any better for you.
I'll do everything I can to avoid causing trouble for everyone, but my health is important too, so I have to take care of myself. I really do want to attend, but things have been so unpredictable lately.
I get that health is important, but don't you think you're always putting your own pace above everything else? This is a family event. Making time for it is just basic consideration. If you don't show up next time, you know what's going to happen, right? I'm tired of hearing all these excuses from you.
I understand, and I'll do my best to make sure I'm there next time. I'll make whatever adjustments I need, including taking care of my health, to make it happen.
Adjustments, huh? That's what you always say. You prioritize your own convenience and never actually change anything. You always put your needs first and treat family like an afterthought. I don't believe you anymore. If you don't show up next time, don't expect to hear from me again. Oh? What are you doing here? That's strange.
Excuse me?
Aren't you mistaken? I don't recall inviting a broke single mom to this wedding. And yet here you are. Honestly, how shameless can you be? You must have thick nerves.
Sadie, please explain. When I realized I didn't have a plate of food, I asked the staff, and they told me you canceled it at the last minute. You even told them I was on a mandatory fast. What exactly are you thinking? Why would I ever request something like that?
I didn't invite you, so why would I go out of my way to provide you with a meal? Frankly, having someone like you, a single mother, at our family event makes everyone uncomfortable. A fried egg should be plenty for someone like you.
I am the groom's mother. I was officially invited by Aiden to this wedding. What gives you the right to cancel my meal? I know you've looked down on me because I'm a single mom. Don't think I haven't noticed. But to humiliate me like this, in such a petty way, doesn't it embarrass you to stoop this low?
Embarrassing? If anyone's embarrassing themselves, it's you. A single mom who couldn't even remarry. And is just parading your shame around for everyone to see.
Excuse me? You wouldn't understand, but becoming a single parent doesn't just happen without a reason. I put my son first, always.
Oh, please, spare me the sob story. You're just using that as an excuse for your lack of effort. Crying about how hard it was doesn't mean anything to me. Not even trying to remarry. That's just laziness, plain and simple.
It's not laziness. I have my reasons related to my ex, and I just haven't met anyone who Aiden and I could trust.
Here we go again with the excuses. If you had the time to hire a housekeeper, you had time to find someone. People like you who wallow in pity and play the poor me card have no place in this family. That's why I've decided to make him cut ties with a pest like you.
What did you just say? Cut ties with me? When was this decided, and by whom? That's his decision to make, not yours. It's outrageous of you to try to control him.
Once they're married, it's all in my hands. Dina is a good girl who never defies her parents. He's head over heels for her, right? There's no way he'd refuse if she asked. We've always wanted a man to carry on the family business. Your son will make the perfect heir.
Absolutely not. He's built his life with his own strength. I won't let you treat him like a pawn. I understand now that you look down on me for being a single mom, but you have no right to interfere in his life. I won't entrust him to someone who doesn't value family.
Oh, don't take it so personally. I'm just doing what's best for him, saving him from having such a weak parent.
If he chooses to distance himself from me of his own free will, I'll respect that. But if you're manipulating him or forcing him, I won't stand it. And let's get one thing clear. Someone who treats a legal family member like this, humiliating them at a wedding, is not someone I trust with his future.
Oh, come on. Are you still bitter about not getting food? I'll tell you what. I'll have a boiled egg prepared just for you. Eat that and nothing else.
No, thank you. It's clear talking to you won't solve anything. I won't ruin my son's important day any further by stooping to your level. Enjoy your trip to hell.
What? Whatever. If you're so unhappy, then just leave already. No one's forcing you to stay, so disappear and do us all a favor.
Lynn, I can't take this anymore. I'm leaving right now.
Wait, leaving? No, Madison, stop it.
Don't try to stop me.
Please, if you leave now, it'll surely break Aiden's heart. Today's such an important day for him, and for you as well. Please, I beg you, stay and see this through until the end.
I can't. After being humiliated like that, how can anyone just sit back down and pretend nothing happened? You saw it too, didn't you? I didn't even get food. And he saw it too, yet he didn't say a word. He didn't even stand up for me. I feel so betrayed.
I understand how you feel, but please, I beg you to trust him. There must be a deeper reason why he didn't say anything. He isn't the kind of person who would sit back and ignore such treatment toward his own mother. Please, believe him.
How can you say that so confidently? He won't even look me in the eye.
Even so, please, trust him.
How?
The only reason he hasn't looked you in the eye is because he doesn't want to worry you.
Worry me? I don't understand. What are you saying? Is he planning something?
Exactly. He has something very important he intends to accomplish today. I can't reveal what it is yet, but I promise it's something significant for you as well. He didn't tell you because he wanted to protect you and not burden you with worry.
I see. That does sound like him. I think I understand now. He must have told you to keep quiet so I wouldn't be dragged into it.
Exactly. He didn't want you to endure anymore, so he confided in me alone. That's why I ask you to trust him and not press for answers right now. Please, won't you return to your seat?
But won't they just humiliate me again and make me feel miserable? Wouldn't it be better for everyone if I just left?
To be honest, what you had to deal with was completely unexpected for him as well. Both of us feel deeply sorry for not being able to prevent it, but I assure you that something will happen soon that will lift your spirits. If you could just stay and witness it, I believe it could change everything.
Lift my spirits? Lynn, what do you mean by that? What's going to happen?
What the hell do you think you're doing? How could you let that woman say something like that?
Calm down, Sadie. I didn't say anything to anyone.
Yeah, right. Then what was that speech about? Do you have any idea what you've done to this wedding we worked so hard to prepare? Thanks to your guest, everyone's freaked out. What are you going to do about this? This wedding is supposed to be for close family only, so she has to be one of yours, doesn't it? How do you plan to take responsibility for such an outrageous display?
There's nothing to take responsibility for. The truth was simply brought to light. Her speech didn't contain a single lie. If there were things you didn't want people to hear, perhaps you should have been more careful in the first place. This isn't my fault.
Oh, don't give me that nonsense. That's not the point here. And what was that woman thinking anyway, ending her speech with, "I sincerely hope Aiden will have a good relationship with his in-laws, despite the last-minute cancellation of his mother's meal by an extremely temperamental family member." How dare she say something so inappropriate? It's beyond outrageous. I didn't go through all the trouble of preparing for this day just to be humiliated like this. Bring her to me immediately. I want her to apologize in front of everyone. And you better brace yourself for what's coming after the wedding is over. I I can't believe this. Is this your doing again? What are you trying to achieve?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, don't play dumb. What the hell is going on? How could Dina and Aiden sneak out of the venue? Tell me where they went right now.
Actually, I haven't been able to reach them either. I never imagined something like this would happen.
What? You expect me to believe that? Oh, let me tell you something. Aiden will never be forgiven for this.
You're absolutely right. However, I did share the entire timeline of events leading up to the wedding through my phone with everyone, so I'm sure they understood. That includes how communication with him became less frequent. I explained everything.
Oh, please. You probably deleted the unwanted messages. Dina would never do something so irresponsible. I raised her better than that. Don't think you can fool me with those excuses.
That's just your assumption, isn't it? Your relatives, on the other hand, didn't blame me at all. In fact, many of them expressed concern for Aiden after he left the venue. Still, I apologize for the inconvenience caused.
I don't care what they say. I will never approve of Dina marrying your son. That marriage license? I'm tearing it up right now.
Oh my god, Lynn. Sadie seems absolutely furious right now.
Yes, she does.
She's convinced everything is entirely our fault.
For now, let her vent as much as she wants.
Are we sure this was the right thing to do? Aiden was determined to ruin the wedding, and he purposely kept me in the dark to ensure I wouldn't get caught up in it, right? He wanted to keep me from being suspected, but the way it all unfolded left me feeling so uneasy.
Yes, that was precisely his plan. He believed that if you appeared visibly shaken, it would divert suspicion and make everything go more smoothly. But seeing how composed you remained during the whole ordeal must have given him some relief. I also believe we made the right call in the end.
Still, I never imagined he'd disguise himself as a woman and give that speech. At first, I didn't recognize him at all. If I hadn't been briefed on anything, I think my heart would have leaped out of my chest from the shock. And the elopement? I never thought it would escalate to such chaos. It caught me completely off guard, and I was honestly shaken. Even now, I still don't fully understand what kind of plan he was working on. Now that the commotion has settled, I think it's time for him to share what he's been up to. I need to know what's going on with him.
Understood. In that case, I'll explain everything, including why he disguised himself to deliver that speech. Could you spare some time to go over the details with me? I assure you, everything will make sense once I've explained.
What the hell is going on? What exactly happened? Tell me right now.
Why are you so worked up?
I can't get in touch with Dina at all. She's telling our relatives she wants to cut ties with me. You know something, don't you? Tell me where she is.
It's no surprise she wants to do that. After all, you've been abusing her for years.
Abuse? What are you talking about?
Even after she became an adult, you forced her to hand over all her earnings, leaving her with no financial freedom. You tracked her with GPS and wouldn't let her leave the house except for errands. I've heard you punished her if she was even 1 second late for curfew. On top of that, you made her do all the housework.
Oh, that's ridiculous. She's making it up. She's always been dramatic. If I were truly treating her like that, she would have sought help from someone, don't you think? This is just her way of seeking attention.
Actually, she did try asking for help. She told me herself. She said she spoke to adults, but since you and your husband are influential in the community and have such a good public image, no one believed her. The only person who listened and helped her figure out a way forward was Aiden. That's why they ran away together, to protect her from you. You pushed your own daughter to this point.
Oh, shut up. You have no right to interfere with how I raise my child. No wonder he's so low class. He was raised in a single-mother household. He practically kidnapped my daughter. I've already called the police. He's going to be arrested and his life is over. And you'll pay for raising such a menace. I'll make sure you face consequences for this.
The only one who'll face consequences is you.
What?
It's true that some parents fail to love their children. I won't deny that. But there is no excuse, absolutely none, that justifies raising a hand against your child. Children don't choose their parents and they can't fight back. You took advantage of that and tormented her. How dare you call someone else a menace? when you've been the one ruining lives? You've trampled on her life, and you have the audacity to act like the victim?
Oh, shut up. No one cares about your moral lecture. Just give me my daughter back already.
The woman who married my son is my daughter now, too. No matter what happens, I'll protect her. There's no way I'm sending her back to you.
So, you've really gone and done it now. Do you honestly think you're going to get away with this?
What exactly are you talking about? I don't believe I've done anything wrong.
How dare you? Going out of your way to tell my relatives?
Well, since you've always put on such a good face for them, I thought it was only fair for them to see your true colors. After what happened at the wedding, it became pretty clear your relatives are decent, reasonable people. Some might even say exceptionally so.
And because of you, I'm being talked about behind my back by every single one of them.
Oh, is that so? Well, that's actually great to hear. When I first heard you'd convinced everyone you were just a strict but caring parent, I could hardly believe it. But once they saw the photo evidence Dina passed on through Aiden, well, how could they not believe it? It was valuable proof, and I wasn't about to let it go to waste.
I've worked so hard to avoid being criticized or questioned all this time. Now everything I've built is ruined. I had a solid standing among the family because of my business and reputation. And now, thanks to you, they're all demanding answers, calling me the worst, and my position is gone. I'll never let you get away with this. You humiliated us. I'll make sure you never pull something this disrespectful ever again.
Could I have a moment of your time?
Oh, Lynn, I'm so sorry I haven't reached out sooner.
That's quite all right, but I've been very worried about you. You've been looking so worn out lately. Is everything okay? The dark circles under your eyes are getting worse every day. You look like a zombie.
Well, Halloween's over already, isn't it? It's just that things have gotten really complicated.
Complicated? Are those delusional people causing trouble again? As they say, the weaker the dog, the louder the bark. Although in their case, they're less like dogs and more like chickens. Chickens, at least, contribute to society by giving eggs.
Honestly, I'd love to roast them and be done with it.
Madison, you seem incredibly stressed. Please take some rest before you completely lose it.
I wish I could, but it's not that simple. The truth is, I've been sued.
Sued? I'll ask just to be sure, but they're suing you?
Yep. You know how Sadie and her husband run a company, right? Apparently they have a legal team and they filed a defamation suit against me. Let's make the poor single mom pay up, since she can't afford a lawyer. Or cough up Dina's location. That's basically their angle. I'm trying to delay my response to buy time, but I'll need to find a lawyer soon.
Do the kids know about this?
No, I haven't told them. I don't want them to worry.
You really are alike, you and your son. Anyway, understood. I won't say a word to them.
Thank you, Len.
That said, you don't need to pay a single cent in damages. So please just hold on for a couple of months.
Why?
Within that time, I'll set things up for a counterattack. You're the one in the spotlight, so it's harder for you to act.
But I can't drag you into this.
Madison, I'm your housekeeper. But do you remember why you hired me in the first place? It was because you were completely burned out from juggling work, housework, and raising a child on your own. You've always taken on too much. Sometimes, it's okay to let someone else help you. Supporting you is what I'm here for. That's my job as your housekeeper.
What's the meaning of this? What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm not sure what you mean.
I'll never let you do this to us. You traitor! How dare you repay my kindness with such betrayal?
Oh my, if it isn't the former CEO herself, still full of energy, I see. I must say these past 2 months have been enlightening. Never in my life have I experienced something quite so infernal. Until now, I was fortunate enough to never dread going to work, but somehow your company managed to break that streak within 2 weeks of joining.
Oh, spare me your theatrics. How dare you? Do you know what you've done? Because of you, the labor board has started investigating us.
Not just the labor board, law enforcement too. But surely you know why that is, don't you? After all, daily harassment, verbal abuse, and even physical violence toward your employees. well, that tends to raise a few eyebrows.
Why would you do this? You've only been here 2 months. If you didn't like it, you could have just quit.
Oh, I never intended to stay long. From the beginning, my sole purpose was to gather evidence against you.
Excuse me?
You see, I'm a housekeeper for someone who... Well, I can't give you the details for a privacy reason, but let's just say they harbor quite a grudge against you. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and infiltrate your little empire.
Who are they?
Why don't you try asking yourself that? Although considering how many people you've wronged, I doubt you'd be able to figure it out.
I've done nothing to deserve this. No one has a reason to hold a grudge against me.
Oh, denial. You've not only lost touch with reality, but you've convinced yourself the world revolves around you. Oh, how pitiable.
Oh, don't you dare mock me. This is absurd. Why would some lowly housekeeper go to such lengths?
A lowly housekeeper? How quaint. Our job is to ensure that our employers can live better lives. But you've been nothing but a detriment to my employer and others I hold dear. I simply took steps to protect them and ensure your shadow doesn't mar their fresh start.
This makes no sense. Just withdraw your accusations already.
Even if I did, it's far too late. You see, all those people you wronged? They've also submitted their own complaints, documents, statements, you name it, to the authorities and other relevant agencies. You're far more despised than you realize. Perhaps it's time you start reflecting on it.
So this is your doing again, isn't it? What the hell are you thinking?
Still yelling as usual, aren't you?
Shut up and explain yourself already. What's this about charges being filed? What the hell is going on?
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's 2025. Surely you can look it up yourself. I'm not some personal assistant or a robot programmed to answer your every demand, you know.
Oh, don't dodge the question. I'm asking why this is happening. You're behind this, aren't you?
Oh, I didn't do much. I just filed my own report along with those of your former employees and others who suffered under you. For my part, I reported the assault because you physically attacked me for something as minor as not meeting your ridiculous expectations. Then there's the defamation charges for the constant verbal abuse and insults you threw my way. And let's not forget the vandalism charge for when you poured ink all over my personal clothes. Just me alone, 3 charges right there. Considering how many others have come forward, the total number of reports is probably through the roof.
You've got to fix this right now. Thanks to you stirring things up, employees are on strike. We're severely understaffed, and now even the vendors are starting to hear rumors.
Oh, there's nothing I can do to stop this now. Once people start talking, there's no shutting them up. That's just how it works. Your company's barely functioning as it is, and yet you still refuse to offer even the smallest apology. Instead, you keep barking orders like you're still in control. That kind of arrogance is exactly what's making this worse for you. Well, congratulations, Sadie. You made national news this morning, didn't you? The headline was something like Dictator CEO Family, Power Harassment, Mass Lawsuits, and Employee Strikes. It's straight out of a tabloid, and honestly, I couldn't stop laughing when I saw it.
What the hell? How did it come to this? Who tipped off the TV stations? Now reporters are swarming me every day, camping outside my house. It's driving me insane. This is a violation of my privacy.
U.S. media and paparazzis are famously persistent and tenacious, as you're learning firsthand. For the record, I didn't tip anyone off, so don't bother asking me to fix it. Rumors are scary things, aren't they? Now there's talk about fraud and tax evasion on top of the harassment claims. Even if you somehow manage to smooth over the power harassment issue, your company's reputation is beyond saving. I'm sorry for your loss.
I've given my entire life to this company. Why? Why is everything gone?
It's simple. You were never fit to run a company to begin with.
What?
After all, you said a single mom only deserves boiled eggs, didn't you? So, for a criminal like you, it's not food you deserve. It's debt and a criminal record.
How do you know about that?
Oh, who can say? You've spent your life looking down on others, so why not take some time to reflect on it for a change?
Hi, Lynn. I have some great news.
You sound to be in high spirits.
Well, I went to visit Aiden and Dina today. I told them everything about how things turned out.
Oh, that's great. They moved to another state, didn't they? Were they doing well?
Oh, absolutely. Now that those monsters have been arrested for tax evasion and embezzlement, they finally feel free. They cried with relief, saying it felt like a weight had been lifted off their shoulders.
Living in constant fear because of those people, it's such an unbearably cruel existence.
Exactly. I'm so glad they can finally breathe easy again. And even if those monsters were released, it'd be almost impossible for them to reintegrate into society, right?
That's correct. With debts from harassment settlements and the complete loss of their social credibility, the revival of that company is beyond impossible.
It really feels like a huge burden has been lifted. But I still find myself feeling a little lonely sometimes. I keep wondering things like, are they eating well?
A mother's love is not so easily extinguished, but I'm confident they'll build a wonderful life and home together.
Sadie's life took a drastic turn for the worse. While serving her sentence, her company's numerous illegal activities continued to come to light, exposing her to relentless public criticism. Her combative personality only made things worse, leading to constant conflicts with other inmates and leaving her increasingly isolated. It's ironic how her inability to admit fault pushed away any potential help she might have received. With the company bankrupt, her assets were seized, and her lifestyle deteriorated into one of abject poverty. Her days are now consumed by paying off reparations, and the grand mansion she once lived in was sold off. She currently resides in a rundown apartment, living a quiet and modest life. At one point, she tried to rebuild her life by finding a job, but her tarnished reputation ensured that no one was willing to hire her. Even her daughter, who had been her last lifeline, eventually cut ties with her. Her own marriage collapsed, and she ended up divorcing her husband. Now, she lives in near total isolation, with little to no interaction with others. Although her behavior at the wedding filled me with anger at the time, I can't say I feel any sympathy for her now. She has finally come to understand, firsthand, the painful consequences of the seeds she sowed. As for me, my days are busier than ever with new responsibilities as Aiden and Dina start their own family. I'm preparing for the arrival of my first grandchild. And through it all, I've come to appreciate that family thrives on mutual support, balanced with tough love when necessary. Sadie lacked that balance, and it was a significant factor in the unraveling of her life. That concludes her story. I'm looking ahead, excitedly awaiting my grandchild's arrival, and taking each step forward with hope and purpose.
Thank you for watching. Please rate the video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.